Welcome to English Prime Podcast. Let's get started.
Hey, English learners. Welcome back to English Prime Podcast. Here, we learn real English through simple conversations, daily life stories, and powerful communication tips. So relax, enjoy, and let's improve your English together. I'm Emma.
And I'm Jake. Here, we help you speak English more naturally, with confidence, and without overthinking every word.
You know, sometimes learning English is not just about words. It's also about how we think, how we act, and the choices we make every day.
Yeah, that's true. Because the way you live your life, it also affects how you communicate.
Exactly. And today, we're going to talk about something that most people don't even realize, but it affects everything. Why do we keep choosing easy things, even when we know they're not good for us?
Yeah. Like we already know what we should do, but somehow we still don't do it. It's kind of strange, right?
It really is. Like you plan to do something important, but then you end up scrolling on your phone. Or you want to speak in English, but you stay quiet.
Yeah. Or you tell yourself, I'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow never really comes.
Exactly. And the interesting part is, it doesn't feel like laziness. It feels normal. It feels comfortable.
That's the thing. Comfort feels good in the moment, but maybe it's also the reason why we feel stuck.
Yeah, and maybe we don't have a motivation problem. Maybe we have a comfort problem.
That's interesting.
So today, let's talk about this idea, how we might be getting too comfortable, and how it's quietly holding us back in life.
Yeah, and I think a lot of people will relate to this.
If you enjoy these kinds of real and honest conversations, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to our channel.
Yeah, and honestly, I think this topic is something we all deal with, even if we don't notice it.
Yeah, I agree. And to be honest, I see this in myself too sometimes. I know what I should do, but I still end up choosing the easier option.
Same here. It's not like we don't understand what's right. We do. But in that moment, the comfortable choice just feels better.
Exactly. Like you have something important to do, but instead you just sit back, relax, maybe check your phone, and you tell yourself you'll do it later.
And that later never really comes. It just keeps getting delayed again and again.
Yeah, and the strange part is, it doesn't even feel wrong at that time. It just feels normal.
Right. It feels harmless in the moment. But when you keep doing it every day, it slowly starts affecting your progress.
Yeah, and I think that's where the real problem is. Not one decision, but repeating the same comfortable choice again and again.
Exactly. And that's when you start feeling stuck, even though you're busy all the time.
Yeah, that's the confusing part. You're doing something all day, but at the end of the day, you feel like you didn't really move forward.
Right. Like you spent hours on your phone, watching videos, checking things, and it feels like you were active, but nothing actually changed.
Exactly. And I think that's where people get stuck without realizing it, because it doesn't feel like you're doing something wrong. It just feels like normal life.
Yeah, and the problem is, these small, comfortable choices start becoming a habit. You don't even think about them anymore.
Yeah. Like automatically choosing the easy way without questioning it.
Exactly. For example, let's say you want to improve your English. You watch videos, you listen to podcasts, but when it comes to actually speaking, you stop.
Yeah, because speaking feels uncomfortable. You might make mistakes, you might feel nervous, so instead you just stay quiet.
And in that moment, staying quiet feels safe. It feels better than taking the risk.
But the problem is, that small decision repeats again and again, and slowly it becomes your pattern.
Right. And then people start saying things like, I understand English, but I can't speak.
Yeah, I've heard that so many times.
And it's not because they can't speak. It's because they're not used to stepping out of that comfort.
Exactly. And this doesn't only happen in English, it happens in everything. Avoiding difficult conversations, delaying important tasks, not trying new things.
Yeah, it's like we keep choosing what feels easy now, instead of what helps us grow later.
And the scary part is, you don't notice it immediately. It feels small in the moment, but over time, it starts affecting your confidence.
Exactly. Because every time you avoid something difficult, you're also telling yourself, maybe I can't do this.
Yeah, And slowly, that becomes something you believe about yourself.
And that's how comfort quietly turns into a habit. And that habit turns into a limitation.
And I think most people don't even realize this is happening.
Yeah, because on the surface, everything works fine. You're comfortable, you're relaxed, there's no pressure.
Exactly. And that's why it's a bit dangerous, because it doesn't feel like a problem.
Right. But if you look a little deeper, there's actually something going on in your mind. I think a big reason is that our brain naturally wants easy and quick rewards.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like when you scroll on your phone, you get instant enjoyment without any effort.
Exactly. It's quick, it's easy, and your brain likes that. But when you try to do something difficult, like speaking in English or learning something new, it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, it feels slow, sometimes frustrating, and you don't get that instant result.
Right. So your brain starts choosing the easy option again and again because it feels better in the moment.
But the problem is, those easy choices don't really help you grow.
Exactly. They give you short-term comfort, but no long-term progress.
And I think that's why people start avoiding difficult things without even thinking about it.
Yeah, it becomes automatic. You don't say, I'm avoiding this. You just do something easier instead.
And over time, that makes difficult things feel even more difficult.
Exactly. Because you're not practicing them. You're not facing them. So they start to feel bigger than they actually are.
Yeah, like speaking in English. If you keep avoiding it, it starts to feel like something very scary.
Right. Even though in reality, it's just a skill that improves with practice.
So it's not that the thing is difficult, it's that we're not used to doing it.
Exactly. And the less you do it, the more uncomfortable it feels, and the more you avoid it again.
So it becomes like a cycle.
Yeah, a cycle where comfort keeps you stuck, and the longer you stay in it, the harder it becomes to step out.
Yeah, but at the same time, I feel like a little comfort is important too. I mean, we can't always be pushing ourselves, right?
Yeah, I agree. We all need rest. We need balance. I'm not saying comfort is bad.
Exactly, because if everything feels difficult all the time, that's exhausting.
Right. The problem is not comfort itself, it's when comfort becomes your default choice for everything.
Yeah, like when you start avoiding anything that feels even a little uncomfortable.
Exactly. That's when comfort slowly turns into a trap. It feels safe, but it's actually holding you in the same place.
Yeah, it's like you think you're protecting yourself, but you're actually limiting yourself.
That's a good way to say it, because in the short term, comfort feels like safety, but in the long term, it reduces your confidence.
Yeah, because you're not proving to yourself that you can handle difficult things.
Exactly. Confidence doesn't come from staying comfortable. It comes from facing things that feel a little challenging.
But I think a lot of people believe the opposite. They think, I'll feel confident first, then I'll try.
Yeah, that's a very common belief, but it doesn't really work like that.
So you're saying confidence comes after action, not before.
Exactly. You act first, even if it feels uncomfortable, and then slowly, confidence builds.
Yeah, that makes sense. Because every time you face something difficult, you're telling yourself, I can do this.
Right. And every time you avoid it, you're telling yourself the opposite.
So in a way, comfort is not just about feeling good. It's also shaping how you see yourself.
Exactly. And that's why it's important to notice when comfort is helping you and when it's quietly holding you back.
Yeah. And I think this becomes very clear when we talk about learning English.
How?
Like, a lot of people understand English really well. They can watch videos, they can read, they can listen. But when it comes to speaking, they stop.
Yeah, that's very common.
And it's not because they don't know the words. It's because speaking feels uncomfortable.
Right. You might make mistakes, you might say something wrong, or you might feel embarrassed.
So instead of speaking, they choose silence because it feels safe.
Yeah, silence is comfortable. No risk, no judgment.
But at the same time, no improvement.
Exactly. That's the trade-off. You protect yourself in the moment, but you lose progress in the long run.
And the more you stay silent, the harder it becomes to speak later.
Yeah, because you're not giving yourself the chance to practice. You're just staying in that same safe space.
And then people start saying, I understand everything, but I can't speak.
Yeah, and that can feel really frustrating.
It really can, because you know you have the ability, but something is holding you back.
And most of the time, that something is just the habit of choosing comfort again and again.
Yeah, it's not a lack of knowledge, it's a lack of action.
Exactly. And that's why speaking is so important, even if it feels uncomfortable.
Because that discomfort is actually a sign that you're growing.
Right. If it feels a little uncomfortable, it usually means you're doing something new, something that can improve you.
So maybe the goal is not to avoid discomfort, but to understand it.
Exactly. And to accept that feeling uncomfortable is part of the process, not something to run away from.
Yeah, and I think this is something everyone should really think about. Have you ever had a moment where you wanted to say something, but you just stayed quiet?
Yeah, or you had the right words in your mind, but you didn't say them because you weren't sure.
Exactly. And later, you think about it again and again, like, I should have said that.
Yeah, that feeling of regret stays longer than the discomfort would have.
That's true. The discomfort is only for a few seconds, but the regret can stay for hours, sometimes even longer.
Right. And I think everyone has experienced this at least once.
So what about you? Have you ever stayed quiet when you really wanted to speak?
Or do you wait until you feel completely ready before you try something new?
And if you do that, does that ready moment actually come?
Yeah. Or does it keep getting delayed again and again?
Maybe the real question is, are we choosing comfort because it feels good, or because we're afraid to feel uncomfortable?
Yeah, that's a powerful question. Because if it's fear, then avoiding discomfort is not really helping us. It's just hiding the problem.
Exactly. And the longer we avoid it, the bigger that fear becomes.
Right. And then even small things start to feel difficult.
So maybe instead of asking, how can I feel comfortable, we should ask, what am I avoiding right now?
Yeah. And that question can really change how you see your actions.
Yeah. And honestly, when you start asking that question, you begin to notice things you were ignoring before.
Exactly. Like you realize, okay, I'm not actually tired. I'm just avoiding this.
Yeah, that's true. Sometimes we say we're tired, but we still have energy for easy things.
Right. You're too tired to practice English, but not too tired to scroll for an hour.
Yeah, and that's a bit uncomfortable to admit.
It is. But I think that honesty is important, because once you see it clearly, you can start changing it.
So what do you think people should do? Because knowing the problem is one thing, but changing it is not easy.
Yeah, that's true. I think one mistake people make is waiting to feel motivated first.
Yeah, like they think, I'll start when I feel ready.
Exactly. But motivation usually comes after you start, not before.
So even a small action can create that motivation?
Yeah, definitely. Even something very simple, like speaking one sentence in English, it can change your mindset.
Yeah, because once you start, it doesn't feel as difficult as you imagined.
Exactly. And another important thing is, don't try to do everything perfectly.
Yeah, perfection makes things harder.
Right. If you try to speak perfect English, you'll probably stay silent. But if you accept mistakes, you'll actually speak more.
Yeah, and speaking more is what really helps you improve.
Exactly. Progress comes from action, not from thinking too much.
So maybe the goal is not to remove discomfort, but to take small steps, even when it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, just start small, stay consistent, and don't wait for the perfect moment.
Because that perfect moment probably doesn't exist.
Exactly. And the longer you wait for it, the longer you stay in the same place.
This actually reminds me of something that happened to me a while ago.
Oh yeah? What happened?
So I was in a small group discussion, and everyone was sharing their ideas. I had something in my mind, like a really clear point that I wanted to say.
Okay.
But when it was my turn, I started thinking, what if I say it wrong? What if it doesn't sound good? And in that moment, I just decided to stay quiet.
Yeah, I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah, and the strange part is, in that moment, it felt like the safe choice. I felt comfortable not saying anything.
Right. No risk, no pressure.
Exactly. But later, I kept thinking about it again and again. I was like, why didn't I just say it?
Yeah, that feeling stays with you.
It really does. And then I realized something. It wasn't that I didn't know what to say. I was just afraid of being uncomfortable for a few seconds.
That's powerful.
Yeah, and honestly, that small moment made me understand something important. Staying quiet protected me for a few seconds, but it cost me my confidence.
Yeah, and those small moments add up over time.
Exactly. And after that, I told myself something very simple. Even if I'm not perfect, I'll still speak.
Yeah, because that one decision can change everything.
And I think a lot of people are in the same situation. They have something to say, but comfort stops them.
Yeah, and I think one big mistake people make is waiting to feel motivated before they start.
Yeah, like they think, I'll do it when I feel ready.
Exactly. But the truth is, that feeling doesn't usually come on its own.
Yeah, most of the time you just keep waiting.
Right. And what people don't realize is, motivation actually comes after you start, not before.
That's interesting. So you're saying action creates motivation?
Exactly. Even a small action can change how you feel. Once you begin, your mind slowly gets into it.
Yeah, I've noticed that too. The hardest part is just starting.
Right. After that, it becomes a little easier.
So instead of waiting for motivation, maybe we should just take a small step first.
Exactly. Don't think too much. Just begin, even if it's not perfect.
Yeah, and I think that connects to another problem. People try to do everything perfectly.
Yeah, that's true. They want to speak perfect English, use the right words, correct grammar, everything.
And because of that, they end up not speaking at all.
Exactly. Perfection creates pressure, and that pressure makes you stop.
So what's a better approach?
Keep it simple. Don't try to be perfect. Just try to express your idea.
Yeah, even if it's not perfect, it's still progress.
Exactly. One imperfect sentence is always better than complete silence.
Yeah, because speaking more is what actually improves your English, not waiting for the perfect moment.
Exactly. And I think another important thing people don't realize is that the more you avoid something, the harder it starts to feel.
Yeah, that's true. Like if you keep avoiding speaking, it starts to feel scary.
Right. Even something simple begins to feel difficult, just because you're not used to doing it.
Yeah, so it's not that the thing is actually hard, it just feels hard because we keep avoiding it.
Exactly. And that's how comfort slowly increases fear.
That's interesting. Comfort feels safe, but it's actually making things harder for us.
Yeah, because you're not giving yourself the chance to face it and realize, okay, this is not that bad.
Right. So the solution is not to avoid discomfort, but to face it in small steps.
Exactly. You don't have to do something big. Just start small and stay consistent.
Yeah, like speaking one sentence, sharing one idea. That's enough.
Right. And another simple thing is, don't make it complicated.
What do you mean?
I mean, people often overthink everything. They try to use difficult words, perfect grammar, and that makes speaking harder.
Yeah, I've seen that. People try to sound perfect instead of being clear.
Exactly. But real communication is simple. If your message is clear, that's enough.
So instead of trying to sound perfect, just try to be understood.
Exactly. Keep it simple, keep it natural, and just keep going.
So, viewer, what about you?
Do you usually choose comfort, or do you try to challenge yourself a little?
What is one thing you keep avoiding, even though you know it's important?
And when was the last time you pushed yourself to do something uncomfortable?
Share your thoughts in the comments. We'd really like to know.
Yeah. And now let's quickly look at some useful English from our conversation, because we used some really natural phrases that you can start using in your daily life.
Yeah, and these are not difficult phrases. They're simple, but very powerful when you use them in real conversations.
Exactly. Like one phrase we used was stay in your comfort zone. This basically means to keep doing only what feels easy and safe for you.
Yeah. For example, you can say, if you always stay in your comfort zone, you will not improve. It's a very common expression.
Right. And the opposite of that is step out of your comfort zone, which means to do something a little uncomfortable so you can grow.
Yeah, like I decided to step out of my comfort zone and speak in English today. it doesn't mean something big. Even a small step counts.
Exactly. And another phrase we used was take the easy way out. This means choosing the easiest option instead of the right or more challenging one.
Yeah, like when you avoid speaking because it feels difficult, you can say, I took the easy way out and stayed quiet.
Right. And that connects to another useful phrase, hold yourself back. This means stopping yourself from doing something, even when you can do it.
Yeah, for example, don't hold yourself back from speaking just because you're afraid of mistakes. It's a very natural way to express that idea.
Exactly. And we also use the phrase, go for it, which is very common in everyday English.
Yeah, go for it means to try something without overthinking too much.
Right. Like if someone is nervous, you can just say, just go for it. You'll be fine.
I really like that one. It's simple, but very motivating.
Yeah. And one more phrase we used was figure things out. This means to slowly understand or find a solution to something.
Yeah, for example, don't worry, you will figure things out with practice. It gives a very positive and relaxed feeling.
Exactly. And the important thing is, don't just listen to these phrases. Try to use them.
Yeah, even if you use them in a simple sentence, that's enough. That's how you make them part of your English.
Right. Keep it simple, use them again and again, and slowly they will feel natural to you.
Yeah, and now it's your turn to speak.
Don't just listen to us. Try to use your own English.
We're going to give you a few simple questions, and you can answer them by yourself.
Yeah, you can pause the video and take your time. There's no pressure, just try.
So the first question is, do you usually choose comfort or do you challenge yourself?
And the second one, what is one thing you keep avoiding, even though you know it's important?
And one more. When was the last time you did something that felt uncomfortable but helped you grow?
Yeah, try to answer these in simple English. Don't worry about mistakes. Just focus on expressing your idea.
You can speak out loud or even think in English. Both will help you.
Exactly. The goal is to get comfortable with expressing yourself, step by step.
And if you really want to improve your English through conversations like this,
Then make sure you subscribe to English Prime Podcast.
because here we don't just learn words.
We learn how to think, speak, and communicate in real life.
So stay with us, keep practicing, and keep growing.
Yeah. And before we finish, let's quickly go over what we talked about today.
We talked about how choosing comfort again and again can slowly hold you back, even if it feels normal in the moment.
Right. And we also understood that the real problem is not ability, it's avoiding action.
Yeah. And instead of waiting to feel ready, it's better to just start with small steps.
Exactly. Because action creates confidence, not the other way around.
And you also learn some useful phrases like step out of your comfort zone, take the easy way out, and hold yourself back.
Yeah. Try to use these in your daily life, even in simple sentences.
Because small practice every day makes a big difference.
Exactly. Just keep going, step by step.
Yeah. And remember, you don't need to change everything in one day. Just take one small step, even if it feels a little uncomfortable.
Right. Growth doesn't happen in big jumps. It happens in small, consistent actions.
So don't be afraid of that uncomfortable feeling. Sometimes that's exactly where your progress begins.
Yeah. Just keep showing up, keep trying, and slowly you'll see the difference.
And with your English, too, just speak a little more every day, even if it's not perfect.
Exactly. Progress is more important than perfection.
All right, that's all for today.
We'll see you in the next conversation.
Until then, keep learning
Keep growing.
and take care.
Bye, everyone.